So Jack, when you talk about the high involvement planning process, this sounds like more than just getting your management team together for a retreat. What exactly is involved in the high involvement planning process?
We discussed earlier that the best take-home play that you can take home as a result of the conversation we're having is that the great game of business is a pattern. Okay? It's a pattern. It's a system that we use inside our organization to create this culture of business. And one of the aspects of the pattern is the whole idea of telling everybody what the rules of the game are. All right? To coming into work in the morning, understanding who the competition is, understanding the economics of the marketplace, understanding the economy. I mean, we have so many questions today from our people in terms of are we getting credit? Are we getting loans? Are we, they get bombarded by TV. They get bombarded by newsprint. Okay, they get bombarded, and what we want to do is to give them reality. I mean, and what better place to get reality than from your sales and marketing people that are out there trying to sell something, knocking on doors, getting their brains beaten out. Okay. Either getting an order, not getting an order. Typically in the old days, they'd get an order, go to the Holiday Inn, have a martini, cry in their martini, discuss how bad the company really was, why didn't we get the order, okay, all that intelligence would be sitting there over a martini glass, all right? So what we wanted to do is that we wanted to create the environment, okay, where all that information goes to every associate in the company, all right, that we develop a template. All right, almost a template where you check off, starting with how do you see the overall economy, ending with the whole idea from the associate saying, do you buy all this that would substantiate the sales line, especially for the next 12 months and even possibly for the next 4 years? Do you buy where we're going? Do you buy the strategy? We don't allow someone to come in and say, well, GDP is going to increase at the rate of 4%, so I'm going to hit my sales plan by 4%. That isn't working. Our people on the shop floor want specifically to know, are we cutting prices? Are we doing advertising? Are we going to have a fishing tournament? What's the incentive? How are we going to move the needle? Okay, they ask great questions. They participate in the process saying, we got an engineering change going on that shop floor. Have you taken into account that engineering change that we're going to have? What we want to do is eliminate the old school of finger pointing. That, it's sales and marketing's fault. I mean, so many organizations don't even have their sales and marketing people in the same organizations that they're in, okay? They don't even, the whole idea of customer surveys, don't get down to the guy that's maybe in the warehouse that has a problem with counting, okay? I've seen organizations come to a standstill because they're waiting for a check from a customer that the poor person in the warehouse delivered 99 pieces instead of 100. They took the invoice, put it over on we'll fix it later payable file. You're expecting the check to meet payroll. They're not going to tell you that you had a bad count. You're then going to go fix the account. You're going to get your check 60 to 90 days later than you have. You never talked to the guy on the shop floor and told him this is what happens to you when you don't count right, okay? You can lay everybody off. We don't teach people this kind of stuff. So every 6 months, we take the sales and marketing, they check off this thing, they talk about the economic periods, they talk about the competitive data, and competitive data is just a riot, okay, because one of the reasons a lot of people don't play the game is because they think the competition is going to get the data, but yet I can hit one company on AOL, I can get a publicly held company, and with that will come the entire data, the entire industry, okay? It is that easy today. You can get it within 30 seconds. It doesn't matter what industry you're in. Now remember, we're measuring the metrics of the industry off the financials, okay? And so we're seeing who turns inventory 6 times. We're seeing who's got 40% margins. We're calculating best practices based on actual performances. It's very, very powerful stuff. And what makes it so powerful is that our people begin to realize now that the standards are set by the marketplace. They're not set by the CEO. They're not set by the human relations manager. So there's no place for them to hide. Eventually they come to the conclusion that, they may be working harder than we're working. You can't hide behind the excuse that all they're trying to do is get me to work harder for less money when you're not using the management, the leadership model. What you're doing is you're saying, this is what you need to do to survive. This is the reality of the marketplace. Do you want to play this game? And then we have them vote on it. We said, look, do you buy into this stuff? And it's extraordinary to get that kind of buy-in Because once we get the buy-in for that 6-month period of time, we don't get any bitching, we don't get any moaning, we don't get any complaining. We get everybody striving to do the right thing because they all had the same information. That's the involvement we get. Coming from the market, through the customer, to the sales and marketing people, to every associate. I mean, can you imagine the peer pressure of our sales and marketing team that have to go up in front of people every 6 months and say, did I perform, did I not perform? Look them in the eyes and realize that, hey, their performance is what's keeping people working. And the people working, okay, doing the job right, is enhancing the relationship of business. Why does that seem to be so cutting edge when it's common sense? But so relatively few people practice common sense.